2023. So far, Entity unable to get the W against Gaimin Gladiators in terms of serious wins, but we'll have to see if they can do it in this one. I think that they took something out of Tundra's book, playing this Batrider as a position 4, which Saksa did make it work extremely well. And they also wanted to demote it in terms of priority, because you have Doom already, and then you saw Oracle, so you don't really want to play him as a core. In the end, decided to go with Puck, which I think is a good choice. It's going to be a lot on Stormstormer to do heavy lifting. He needs to be doing so many stuff in this game, cutting into backlines, providing coil on Storm Spirit, but then again, there is save on top of Oracle, multiple abilities coming out from him. And also, carry-to-carry matchup, having Magnus against Morphling. Morphling usually a hero that does need a lot of time to come online compared to some of these earlier carries. Sure, it's a lot of physical damage, but Mag can easily pop off. Like, he's gonna stay at least a half item ahead of this Morphling.
We've been seeing a lot of safe lane Magnus, and you've got Primal Roar, you have your RP, like the control is certainly there. Ace and Fishman going back and forth. He's got the rest of GG coming around, and they will get first blood. So Tofu will get credit for first blood. Fishman gets caught a little bit too far out on this Undying. Not enough stolen strength, not enough help to survive there.
Usually Undying is the king of these fights, having the K level 1, throws a blood grenade, but great start for Gaimin Gladiators. Tofu, I mean, there are multiple players on their side who you do not want to give first blood to. And Tofu has shown that he's been like super stable, a player that can pop off easily in the laning stage, and now having that good of a start. This time around, like techies against Morphling, this matchup is a little bit different than it was before. Having no silence on your blast off, which is something that Morphling really was afraid of. Like, you get a blast off from Fog, long duration silence, he's on low HP, you do manage to bring him down. But still, I can see Fishman also struggling, considering the start. Wild Axes spam, they're keeping the distance as well, and Fishman seems like he's not going to be able to provide much in this lane.
Yeah, we usually see these techies kind of pop off towards the level 2, level 3 aspect, where they've got that blast off in the level 2 and the sticky bomb, and Fishman trying to do whatever he can. We're taking a look at top, as it's Batrider Doom, which... Does that feel like a strong killer lane to you?
It could if there's no Oracle, I would say. Celery already hit that level 2. I've seen like different builds on Oracle when they play in this matchup, when they play in matchup against something like techies, so they get early points in Fate Seated, but Celery, he thinks that they could potentially get a kill in this lane, so putting a point in Purifying Flames. Also, think about this position for Batrider is you don't skill Sticky Napalm, you're going to be playing with Firefly and Flame Break, and we can see Fishman already struggling in this bottom lane. Also, Tofu providing some good CS, good harassment for Ace as well.
And you're hoping to get this Helm of the Overlord online as quickly as possible, and we're seeing Tofu just put so much damage out. Like, yeah, Fishman's got himself 4 more mangoes to work with, but are the decays enough of a deterrent? Right now, he's still on 16 strength, so we'll see if maybe he could do anything with that.
Pops a couple of mangoes, but right now, Gaimin Gladiators, they will hit level 3 on Beastmaster, so we'll have that extra pressure. Still thinking whether he wants to put a point in Boar or if he wants to put a point in Axis. Because, sure, Wild Axes are always good for clearing the stacks and everything. Let's see who's going to pick up the first Lotus. Fishman, a little ring around the Rosy, around Lotus Pool.
Ooh. And there's the Lotus. Going to Beastmaster.
One thing I dislike about Lotus, at least the pool, is it's pretty similar to what happened with Roshan respawn time. It says he's gonna spawn like in 3 seconds, but he actually spawns in 5 seconds. It's also delayed by like a second before you can pick it up. Feels rather wonky, I would say.
So you want it to be a bit more exact.
Yeah, exactly.
This bottom lane, not a killer lane just yet, but like you were saying and like we were talking about, as the levels come, it should turn into something like that. They go to the blast off, the blood grenade, the tombstone is down. And the damage on the Tofu, it's starting to mount up. He survives with 60 health.
Does have a healing cell, 20 magic wand charges. Looking at techies being universal heroes right now, and because Tofu got that first blood, a lot of damage. Like right now, we are not seeing it because he's backpacking the items, but should be like 65 or something. Okay, 63. Rounded it up.
Not your most egregious roundup, but 63 to 65, it's close enough. You can see the CS, it's mid pretty even as we're going to see Celery drop and Dyrachyo get chased under the tower. Forced to skewer his way to safety, but that is not what you want when the Oracle is trying to keep you alive. And you go to the 102, and we could see maybe Purifying Flames be some damage, but there is a decent amount of stability in this lane for the side of Entity, right?
Yeah, definitely. And especially now that Doom got himself closer to that Vanguard, he's not going to be able to die. Sure, you have Oracle with a lot of damage coming on from 2 points in Purifying Flames, but then again, so does Entity. Batrider is level 3. They managed to reposition someone with Flame Break. A little bit low on mana right now on Toby, so let's see if there are any mangoes. Probably just gonna go into mana boots after that to have that sustain in the lane. And then you have 3 components: Disassemble Vanguard, mana boots as well, or that Octarine core that we see him being picked up much more often nowadays.
Yeah, we've been seeing the Octarine core hit at about 14 minutes or so. We saw
there was a game in NA
like 12.
the other day. Yeah, 12 or 11 minutes. Speed picked it up.
One of the speediest Octarine core pickups we've seen. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the game's sitting even right now. Nothing really pointing out at me just yet, but really, every time, every game, I'm going to talk about it. 7 minutes is approaching. You need to make sure you get at least one wisdom.
Yeah, let's wait that 1 minute. 6 minutes is approaching. Kataomi uses Flame Break, bounces Oracle away. It's going to be Quinn who's going to pick up Shield Rune. That's a big one. That's actually huge on Storm Spirit because you don't care too much about the first rotation on a coil. Having that extra 50%. I'm not sure why it's 50%. Sounds a little bit busted. Because your HP, you have extra 500 HP.
Yeah.
There's just not enough damage that they can throw. Like, where's that extra 500 coming from?
Top lane. Some damage on a Dyrachyo once again. They do have some help from Celery, and he'll give the Purifying Flames over to try and heal him up. And Celery also getting attacked a little bit, but the aggression coming in from Entity is not going to be enough.
Yeah, now we see the power of Fate's Edict finally being online for the safe lane of Gaimin Gladiators.
Fishman. Tombstone. They do have Stormstormer, so they're going to drop down the Dream Coil. They'll throw some axes, but he will die. Stormstormer with the Illusory Orb will get the kill, and you know, Tofu's out of lane. He's collecting that Wisdom Rune that we were just talking about, and both teams are going to get themselves 1 Wisdom Rune apiece. And you know, that'll certainly help. We've seen teams where they lose out on that first Wisdom Rune, and they just don't get their supports to level 6 quickly enough. We see that be a big problem with like Bounty Hunter, Techies. Could be a problem with like Oracle as well. Both teams getting 1.
You can't allow enemy team to pick up bound XP runes. Quinn, having that shield rune, playing slightly more aggressive in this mid lane. He's very tanky, 13-1 charges, infused raindrop, but again, aggression on the top lane will be stopped by 1 Fate's Edict, so no. Firefly, Scorched Earth is still available. Entity, I would say, doing okay in this off lane. Mid's doing fine as well. Not as much farm. Kataomi does the same thing again and now manages to steal the rune from Quinn. This would be a big one. Gotta pay with his life most likely, but still, stealing region from Storm is massive.
Celery might die here as Stormstormer's got some help from Fishman, but they've also got Tofu coming over. They'll use the Dream Coil on the Undying. That'll allow Fishman to die too. So 2 kills here for the side of Gaimin Gladiators, with a little bit of help from these supports rotating over.
Not the best trade. You're giving kills to Storm Spirit, which is exactly what they wanted. Sure, you are stealing region, but Storm Spirit on top of net worth right now, and you can see them playing around Stormstormer. They're not gonna even refill his bottle. This was kind of a plan, so they will bring in another support Fishman will TP and finally refill Stormstormer's bottle.
Not the most fun dealing with that at the moment. Even at 3, 9 minutes into the game, and a party over mid. This is opening up, I would say, a lot of space for Toby. He's got that Vanguard. He's going into the Midas. He's got some open space, but Duraccio at the same time, Ace at the same time. Like, these heroes are pretty free to farm in the side lanes.
And also looking at the stacks on side of Gaimin Gladiators, they're already prepping, like for either Beastmaster, who can farm it, or Magnus. Ancients have been stacked 2 times, and the ones near the XP rune 3 times. So that's gonna be a lot of gold coming out for Gaimin Gladiators already. And XP to whoever is stacked.
Yeah, I love that new change, making supports' lives a little bit better.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Always nice to see some support lives being enhanced. Wisdom rune, the stacking change. Need more of that.
I think supports are in a good spot right now. Feels like they're getting enough gold from getting the kills. Sure, if you kill a support, you also do get a lot of gold, so feeding away gold is never good.
Vortex.
You can't play that position 6. Kataomi.
He's gonna die here, even with the Seeds of Serenity down. Reactive Taser's not gonna land on anybody, but you can see the damage Tofu, he's trying to put out with that sticky bomb on the puck.
Oracle, one of the better heroes in-game to KS with, as we could see as well. Purifying flames to secure the kill.
Always great in lane when you... I mean, there was definitely times where we've seen games with Oracles that just 3, 4, 5 kills in the laning phase when they've got Purifying Flames at least level 2. They're actually heading top, so, you know, Duraccio, he's got RP. They have the Vortex. If they want to pull in Toby, do they have the damage? Goes to the Scorched Earth. They'll use the RP, and they'll get the kill onto this dude.
Should be enough. Not very quick with reacting to what's happening. Like, even a tanky hero like Doom, holding on to Vanguard, Faded Brush, he's very speedy, but Quinn manages to find the jump, TPs to the mid lane, continues to farm up. He's all over the place. One thing that Gaimin Gladiators are so good at is moving across the map and getting stuff done. They, like, push out the mid wave, immediately smoke to the top, punish the enemy team, and now they continue to farm up. Look at them. Farming every single part of the map, pressuring the bottom tower as we speak as well. This is the problem with 2 supports. Again, on Entity being only level 5 right now. On Undying, it doesn't matter as much. I think like Flash Golem's not the most important one to bring into a fight, but having something else, some kind of extra control against Storm Spirit, Batrider hitting level 6 could be massive with Flaming Lasso. But then again, you are playing into Oracle, who's already level 6.5, so you might not get the full value out of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a multi-dimensional save here for Oracle with that False Promise. Dream Coil placed down. Like you said, they do have False Promise, but the silence, the lasso, well, it's lasting for a while, and now they go to the Doom, but they've got themselves the save. So Doom, Lasso, Dream Coil,
healing cell on top of him.
To try and get this Storm. They get the kill on the Celery. They'll take out Tofu. The rotation's not exactly what they need, as now Duraccio comes in. Watson skewering him, the skewer into the tower to Kataomi. Quinn with a good amount of health, but how much mana? Not enough, as they lose a third with the TP in from the Magnus. So it looked like, hey, we saved the day. We've got ourselves the Storm okay. But you bring in these heroes, and they all die on Gaimin Gladiators.
In the end, nice trade there for Entity. They throw everything at the Storm Spirit, Lasso, Doom, and they go for the others instead. They know that he can't really use anything while being Doom, and now it's time to strike for Gaimin. Quinn,
he's silence on the Quinn. He's down to about half health. Watson now going to waveform away. Get themselves 1 kill onto the Undying. But that's the only thing they get so far.
Unfortunately for Gaimin Gladiators, there was no RP available at the time. So Duraccio, he needs to farm it up. He's going to be clearing some of the stacks. Never mind, Beastmaster stole all the stacks in the jungle. That's why he's almost on top of the net worth at the moment. And looking at the build from Duraccio, 1-4-1 build, because he's Universal Hero. Magnus players do tend to pick up bonus instead. So having that extra damage, having those extra stats as well, makes him super tanky. Because you're not playing off Skewer anyway. nor Shockwave. It's all about getting the farm with Empower, Mask of Madness, and now the rest of the team is smoked up.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So starting to place down some of these proximity mines and moving towards mid. See if they can find anybody here. Oh, waiting around. Ooh.
Dodged it.
And dodging that blast off, and now the reactive taser. They've got the root. They've dropped down the dream coil. They're trying to get the kill here onto the techies. He's surviving for a while. They've got the false promise even. And they won't lose Tofu. But nothing going the way of Entity or Gaimin Gladiators on that one in terms of kills.
Saving private techies. As long as Storm Spirit is not being coiled, I mean, that was a very ambitious attempt from Tofu to try to land a stun on Puck. Stormstormer with the quick reaction gets the phase shift off. But this also does allow both offlaners to get the farm. Ace is about to finish off Aghanim Scepter, Drums of Slum, after picking up Vanguard. And that's going to be a lot of damage coming out from him in a team fight, and some extra sustain as well.
We were seeing Drums of Slom in the tiebreakers last tour. Every game with Beastmaster had Drums of Slom. I'm a big fan of the name, but we'll see how much it's going to do here when he picks it up. I'm a roar, and Ace getting told to do the roar, and he does it. And I've got the Vortex to follow it up. There was a slow follow-up on that one, but it's in time enough to get the kill on a Toby, so starting with the roar, and Quinn comes in and Tofu comes in to try and help, and they do get that kill.
Once Doom disassembles his Vanguard, we'll push him closer to that pipe, which is a big item. You are playing into Storm Spirit techies, even Oracle, so there's going to be a lot of magic damage. Puck also looking really good in terms of like net worth. Everybody's very close, and going for Roche. This is an interesting one. Like in terms of Roshan damage, they don't have that much. This is not like your Ursa type of a lineup that's going to go in and finish off the Roche, but Morphling shifting everything to Agi and also having Flash Golem does help out a lot. Out of the Gaimin Gladiators are expecting this move from Entity.
Yeah, I don't think they're aware of this move at all.
This is Roshan 16 minutes into the game with only 3 heroes. We see teams struggle bringing in 5 heroes to kill Roshan 20 minutes into the game. This is pretty massive for Entity.
The thing is, we saw this a little bit in North America the other day, where it was just early Roshans and trying to sneak it from the opponent. And I think a majority of them did happen at the top Roshan pit. It's interesting to see it just go so quietly under the radar, and well, Gaimin Gladiators the entire time trying to farm up as much as they can. They were going for the Harpoon on Duraccio. They've got Ace, who's got that Ags now for the Drums of Slom. So does the Aegis pickup counterbalance what has been picked up here for Gaimin Gladiators? And
oh,
that
coil
thought, they go to the
Quinn.
coil. Early false promise
Celery's in
on
trouble.
the Quinn, and they'll get the kill on the Celery. They'll take the Oracle. That's probably why he threw out the false promise to start, but it's not going to save Quinn.
Coil keeping him long enough alive for Toby to get close and get to Doomov. This is the second time they executed the same combo pretty much, plus Lasso on top of it. So having multiple abilities that, like, they understand where the real threat is coming from, killing this Storm Spirit, and also Oracle needs to be very close with this level 1 false promise. So he was really like on top of Watson, who's extremely farmed right now, taking on top of the net worth, sitting on 2,000 gold, finishes off Yasha and holding on to Aegis, plus Lincoln Sphere. Like, this is the item that has been picked up on Morphling, like mostly traditionally in the Chinese scene, as the first item for a very long time. So you can't be pulled by Storm Spirit. You don't care about Beastmaster Roar. So in terms of locking this Morphling down, I'm a little worried for Gaimin Gladiators.
And they did have a 2,000 net worth lead, and it's starting to fall back towards Entity. And they've got themselves a little bit of an advantage. With Watson sitting atop the net worth and, well, working with this Aegis, I think he's in a really good spot to kind of pull away from the rest. Well, we'll see. As Gaimin Gladiators, it looks like they're setting up to fight again, but a 5-man smoke coming out from Entity. They'll show the waveform in. They'll turn it into the Magnus on Watson. They've got the Dream Coil down again. They go to the Primal Roar from the other side to go to the Undying.
Oh, nice.
These heroes are in a little bit of trouble. They'll get the kill on the Celery. They'll take out Fishman. So it ends up being a trade 1-for-1 at the moment. Ball landing up onto the high ground, throwing out that Shockwave, and that hits on a Tofu. They get the kill onto the Techies. They'll take it a second. They'll buy back on the Undying as Doom is low, but Doom's not dying. Nobody's able to finish off the kill here on Toby. So Quinn, with not a lot of mana remaining, needs to run away, while on the other side of the fight, they get the kill on Ace. So Watson gets himself on a mega kill streak.
He's out of mana completely here.
Yeah,
Can't run away from this one.
Nowhere to go. Flame Break doesn't exactly land, but they don't need it. They get themselves that kill on the Quinn, and it is all Entity in this game 1, coming past the 15-minute mark.
A little surprised that Gaimin Gladiators decided to play as aggressive as they did, fighting into Aegis. They just lost the fight. Coil came off cooldown, and nicely played from Watson there. He turns into Mag, gets Empower for himself, which puts him to over 300 damage per hit with all that insane attack speed, and also 2-man Coil. He skewers them away, snaps the Coil. That was nicely done. Watson, very involved. Like we did talk about, Morphling could be a little bit slower coming into the game, but now holding on to this Aegis does change things a lot. And also this item is kind of anti-carry item, something that Morphling is really good with once he picks up that Aghanim Scepter.
Right.
You will be looking to steal stats from Magnus, which means stealing his damage and also status resistance. So having extra 40% status resistance with no real lockdown inside of Gaimin Gladiators, Morphling will move freely in those fights. And now also seeing Batrider picking up his Blink Dagger on top of Drums of Endurance. Kataomi is very tanky as well. Holding Pupil's Gift, like Tracer, Wraith Band, a little bit of everything, and it's not even 25-minute mark, so they're gonna smoke again.
1700 health. And the Blink, the last of the debut, they'll go for the kill on the Tofu, and they will take out this Techies. Find a pick off on Tofu, and Entity still making this a one-way game at the moment. Gaimin Gladiators trying to do all they can to find some farm as Quinn looking for the Kaya Sanj, and you've got Ace farming up
steal
now.
it?
Ooh.
Yes, he can. He picked
Yes,
it
he
up.
can. And they should be able to get this kill on the Oracle. So Celery, he's just going to get run down, and they probably take the Tormentor right here too.
That's the play that we see a lot of the times. 21 minutes, smoke up into enemy triangle, whatever you want to call it, near the Tormentor, pick up the rune, potentially, and also get a kill. So, nicely done by them. Who's going to be the one that got shard from that Tormentor? It's going to be Batrider, so sticking
Yes.
a palm, Flaming Lasso, doesn't disarm you, and every other attack applies sticky, so that's a good one. It's going to be a lot of those in the team fight now coming out from this position for Batrider that I do like a lot more every single time I see it in action, because I've seen it in pubs and I've seen it 2 times so far in the DPC, at least in the Western European one, and it looked really good.
So I had asked you before if the Aegis was going to be worth the
answer is
farm,
yes.
and yeah, the answer ends up being very much yes. And now, where does that leave Gaimin Gladiators in a comeback scheme?
It's going to be a lot on side of Duraccio to land like 2-3 man RPs, which is not going to be an easy one. Sure, your Storm Spirit can cause a lot of issues, like trying to create the chaos, but we've seen him also just straight up dying. Now with the BKB on Duraccio, should be an easier one. There is still Doom, there is still Batrider that goes through magic debuff.
So it's still
Or
hard
debuff
to...
immunity. It feels like it's gonna take at least 6 months, maybe even more, for me to figure out that it's not called spell immunity anymore.
I thought you were going to say 6 years. Fishman, found by Quinn, throws a
Yes, the
tombstone to the high ground.
There is Observer Ward up there.
Yeah, so they're going to see this, and they'll get the gold to Ace. That's another 200 gold for him. He was looking for the Guardian Greaves, but has now switched off to build the pipe instead.
It was Pipe, Guardian Greaves, now back to Pipe. I like to click a lot on heroes to see what's happening, what's the thought process. Yeah, Pipe is going to provide him a lot of damage mitigation against this Puck, like Morphling,
Right.
Doom. Pretty much every hero has some sick amount of magical damage coming out from them. Killing off Fishman, who bought back in the previous fight.
Under attack.
He's gonna be gone for full 60 seconds. Now it's down to 30. Let's see if they feel comfortable taking a fight without Fishman. Roshan could potentially respawn in 30 seconds because they killed it so early. We don't see those early Roshans being taken anymore.
Yeah, it's been here and there, but it's not as reliable anymore to see these quick early Roshans. And there's that high Assange for Quinn. Let's see, they go lasso, and they find Quinn by himself, so he's all alone in a spot like that, getting picked off, and this blink has already paid dividends for Keto.
Yeah, and he's getting bigger and bigger. On Kataomi, I see Boots of Bearing, Octarine Core queued up. Like, eventually, he's gonna get to those items, and let's see if they decide to go for their own Tormentor, because they just took a fight very close by. With Morphling, you do have more than enough damage to take it so quickly. Fishman gonna drop.
Kataomi as well, he was getting low. He's still getting low! Oh no! He's gotta run. Fishman gets it, so that's that upgrade to the tombstone. You can bunker inside.
It's such a fun interaction, but haven't really seen being used to, like, wow, this is it. You know, this was game-changing, but we'll see. Imagine if we have, like, Shadow Demon, OD, Undying with Tombstone, upgrade, and then the whole team disappears.
You have to draft that. That's the Magician lineup. Want to see it disappear?
Dire are scanning.
Having Book of Shadows, there are 5 items. We can go on.
Whoa,
Stormer gets the jump, plays down Observer Ward.
Deep blink, lasso onto the Oracle, so they're trying to get the count of the Oracle and make sure he's not able to get the false promise off, but they've already lost themselves Fishman. And the
Rachel looking for an
Queen
angle.
doing some damage. We'll go to the Harpoon. They've got themselves the RP. It's going to be onto the Bat Rider. They get the count of Kataomi, so they've taken it a second. The Doom's going to be committed onto Ace, but Ace doing everything. Quinn coming in with a triple kill and looking for the rest. Lockdown's lacking them. They've already used the Primal Roar and the RP, so they can't exactly chase on this one. So Puck, as well as the Morphling, will survive, and Gaimin Gladiators, well, they kind of eat a lot of these spells and survive it all.
Yeah, fighting underneath vision. They place down Observer Ward. Also, Fishman 2 times in a row didn't get anything off in a team fight. No Tombstone to provide vision for the team. And Beastmaster's going ham in last couple of fights. That I don't know why it gives like 15 stacks. Level 3 Primal Roar gives you max stacks on Drums of Slump. Immediately, yeah, he slammed him there.
Manta killed, by the way. That was the recipe for the Manta. And not that he had the gold for the ulti orb yet, but still. And now Roche, it's up and it's available. So second Roche 27 minutes into the game. This is pretty quick.
They need to contest this. They can't just allow this to happen. Double damage is still available on Stormstormer, holding on to Gem. Roshan,
Doom, though.
It's gonna take them a good 20 seconds to finish it off from now. Let's see. Stormstormer, he wants to jump in. Tombstone is available this time around.
You have Dream Coil. The Illusory Orb is going to be on time. It is. It spots them, but he doesn't jump to it. So the Agent's going to be picked up here. The cheese is on the ground.
Well, there's someone's cheese intolerant, lactose, because no one
me.
picked it up. It's going to take them some time to figure it out that it's gone.
Dream Coil on a 3 of the
he's in.
backlines. Stormer, Darachi was in already. They get the Kona Fishman. They're going to look towards the rest as the Dream Coil again was already used, and they still have Doom on cooldown for another 5 seconds. The Primal Roar committed on the Stormer, and they get the kill on the Puck. They'll look over at Kataomi, who's trying to get across this bridge inside the river, as the rest of Gaimin Gladiators are following him across. It's a little precarious to traverse, but enough to get the kill. And Quinn now on a mega kill streak, as the early parts of his game were a little bit slow, but he is starting to pop off here now.
Yeah, those 2 bad fights really brought back Gaimin Gladiators into this game. Man, there's still cheese left in the pit. They lost Gem on side of Entity. They lost 2 fights in a row, and now the game looks completely different. Like, even without landing with some sick RPs, Duraccio finds an opening, finds this Undying, takes him out of the fight pretty much immediately, and now off to a high ground. It's all it took. Entity looked really good for 25 minutes, and then 2 bad fights, suddenly Gaimin Gladiators. This is the team that is going to punish every single mistake you make.
I remember we used to talk the same way about like LGD. You make a mistake and they were going to bring it back onto you tenfold, and that feels the way that Gaimin Gladiators play this year, and it's just so autopilot, right? You make a mistake, boom, we're hitting you back hard.
And you can feel that Entity are very afraid right now. Wrong on a minimap, they want to be playing the bottom part. They were also the one who got extra 2 shards from Roshan for free. And still losing some of these fights. Ratio will pick up XP rune, which will get him to level 20. So, skewer range. Also holding on to Lincolns here. That's a big item. This is how you protect yourself against... I think mostly why you bought it is you don't want to get your stats stolen.
Right.
It's a good way to deal with Morphling, but also against Doom, against Batrider. They know something is up, because right now no one's inside the base. There are a couple of creeps from Gaimin Gladiators attacking barracks.
And the range racks are a little bit low. Ball lightning all the way over, looking for Fishman. Spots him, but the silence coming in from Stormer, working with an Aegis here on Quinn, so not too afraid to lose that first life with the rest of his team around. Skewer hitting a couple, and now a lot of Lincolns getting popped. He'll turn to the Magnus on Watson, trying to turn this one around. They get the RP, it's only going to be on the Fishman. Now they go to the Lasso, controlling up Duraccio, who doesn't have that Aegis, but they get the false promise off. Celery's going to be killed off afterwards, but he's already got the save on Duraccio. He might still die afterwards, and he's not over the threshold, so he'll be able to survive, but they get the kill on Ace, and the look over at Quinn. They took the Aegis out of his hands. They've got the silence. The Infernal Blade, the ball lightning, trying to get some distance, goes the other way.
Left, right, he's going.
And will make it out just barely.
Oh, that RP only on Fishman, who does have buyback, does have tier 2 towers, so he can easily come back into the fight. Ratio had an opportunity to land it on Morphling as well, but was very hesitating. So in the end, doesn't get it. An Entity with this Aghanim Scepter on Morph, again, proccing the Lincolns, turning into Magnus, getting that extra damage from Empower, having Solar Crest on top of him. He deals some heavy right clicks, dealt more damage than the whole Gaimin Gladiator squad in the previous fight with just Morphling.
It is a lot of damage coming through. He needs the rest of his team, though, to kind of be there. Because without that lasso, without the Dream Coil, I feel like the control may not be there for him to kind of pop off in these fights, and we've seen that in previous engagements. So, still very reliant on a lockdown, that's being handled by the rest of the team, but doing a lot of damage.
I think also in the previous fight, Duraccio lives because of Vindicator's Axe. He gets silenced by Puck, gets that extra armor, gets extra damage as well because he was stunned on top of it from Doom. So this item is just like so much value that you get from it.
Now Satanic for Duraccio.
Big synergy between that and False Promise.
Try to heal up, try to keep yourself alive, harpoon into somebody Satanic, and try to get a pseudo second life in these fights.
Death tax.
We'll see where he ends up going in terms of his next item, because right now he's got queued up the Blink. As you could see in that last fight in particular, if he was able to blink instead of skewer into the fight, maybe he gets that RP on more than just Fishman.
Yeah, not the easiest way to initiate with skewer. But Entity, they are smoked. There will be again vision, providing some vision from Dire Ward.
Dream Coil, and that's going to be on the back lines. The silence comes out of Celery. They'll use the Doom. It's on Ace. Celery trying to survive here so he can throw out a False Promise. And, well, right now they get the kill on Katayoma. He's going to buy back. They get the kill on Celery. He's also going to buy back. And now look at the heroes on the side of the fight. They go to the RP. It's going to be on the Undying as well as the Morphling. They take out Toby. They'll take out the Doom, the Blast Off. They have the Hex. It's on a Fishman. He's dead once again. And these heroes on the side of Entity take out the rest. With no Ace, no Tofu, they start to retreat on Gaimin Gladiators, and they'll TP Duraccio out.
And Toby realized that in the last couple of fights, he needs to pop that Doom on Beastmaster before he can get anything off. So no Drums of Slum, no Primal Roar, 2 fights in a row, and Entity will take another Tormentor. Let's see who gets it this time around. It's gonna be Doom. That's a big upgrade when you get it for free.
Always nice. Level death. I miss that spell.
It was such a cool ability back then. We were like, well, I'm gonna kill you. I think some 10 years ago or something, you wanted to get it when the hero is level 5, and then you hit him with level death, you wait, and then he just pops. It was like 500 damage or something.
Bring it back. I say bring back full level
It's in the
death.
game. We don't need to bring it back. It's
No,
already
bring
here.
it like I want it. Yeah, but I want to have it say level death. That's what I mean, you know, with the question mark.
Yeah, it had.
Is
It was also
is it a
caps.
death?
Everything was caps as well.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you want that back? Level death question mark. Is he dying? I don't know.
The way you said it, now I want it.
Yeah. Enticing. Ace going for Lincolns as well. Everybody on Gaimin Gladiators trying to protect their stats. Trying to protect themselves from that or the Doom, and they just want to be able to survive here. They're towards top. Roche potentially spawning in 20 seconds. They're going to find a cheese, by the way.
Oh, thank you
It's
so
just been
much.
sitting here forever.
Almost 10 minutes after, Watson pings it out, and let's see if they decide to give it to him. They do in the end.
Yeah, just sitting on the floor, so stinky. I think if cheese sits on the ground, the longer it sits on the ground, the more it should do. The more it ferments.
Yeah, I mean, it can only ferment to a certain point, right? Then it goes bad.
Yeah, then it goes rotten and it does nothing.
So yeah, I feel like if it's sitting there, it should heal less. Instead of 2.5k, you should get now like 1.7 or something.
Okay. Eating rotten, stinky cheese. It's the new item. May cause level death.
Illusion.
Smoke.
Roche not up for another 2.5
From
minutes.
Gaimin Gladiators, let's see if they can get a bait with one of those Storm Spirit illusions. Find something big. Maybe a lasso, maybe a doom.
Sending it into the right area. Storm going to come over, but now he's going to ball lightning all the way over onto the Doom. They'll go to the Hex. They've got the Lincolns onto him. The RP's going to come through. It's a big one. Dreamcool's going to lock up Quinn. They get the kill on Toby. They'll take him out for a while, but a while's short when you've got buyback. They get Kateomi. He's dead for 76 seconds. He doesn't have buyback with a BKB being popped by Watson. They're going to go after the side of Gaimin Gladiators and try to turn this around. The damage on his celery, the silence on him. They'll kill him off before he's able to use the false promise, but Fishman get chased by Quinn and Ace. They get the kill there onto this Undying, and they use the Doom on Ace. The attention over onto the techies as well from Stormstormer, but he TPs out with the Doom onto Ace. They'll kill off this Beastmaster.
They'll pick up the gem as well. Morphling, every single time he finds an opportunity to turn into these Beastmasters, stealing his stats, having that status resistance, can't be really locked down, and also having like almost 600 damage with Empower, which is pretty nuts. Also having level 20 talent, waveform attacks targets with that sick damage if they group up. This time around, I think it's a good RP. Whenever Gaimin Gladiators are the ones who are initiating first, Mag is not going to be the one struggling, because he needs to keep the distance with this Blink Dagger, and then he's not dealing the right-click damage, so needs to choose how he wants to approach it. Buyback coming out from Ace. Gaimin Gladiators still want to contest this one.
Not really certain they needed to buy back there. Dreamco is going to be placed down on the Quinn as well.
Got the pull off.
Tofu down to about half health. They've got themselves the Electric Vortex as well as the Primal Roar. Can they get the kill here on the Stormstormer? Yes, they can. So they'll take him out. He's got buyback. Now, a lot of these heroes on Entity have buyback remaining because they used it in the last engagement. That includes Toby, who dies and is dead for 90 seconds. Fishman, Vortex bunkering inside the Tombstone. He's going to be safe for now as they've got the lasso out. They get the kill to Duraccio. They'll get the kill to the Magnus. He's dead for 90, but he does have buyback. Ace is dead once again. Watson moving forward, throwing that adaptive strike on a Tofu, and they'll pause as Discord crashes.
Ooh, I thought it was someone disconnected the way he typed in the chat. Just disc. But yeah, Morphling still holding on to Aegis. Puck, very nice move from Stormstormer because he does not have his tier 2 tower to TP to. There's nothing to TP to on the top part of the map. TP's bottom to his outpost, goes through the twin gates, and then re-enters the fight.
Electric. We are
The buyback used by Ace was early, but they wanted to take that fight as early as possible, right? To make sure that they could get to this Roche respawn.
It seems like Discord is down. Join us on TeamSpeak. Everything is working perfectly for us.
We go and download
Or we can
Skype or Ventrilo.
Yeah, we'll go back to Skype. MIRC for all the boomers out there. It wasn't an audio program. I think a lot of people also don't know about Skype back in the days. It was the technology. They were like, how does this actually work? How's this
Skype
happening? Yeah, who made this?
where you get that
Should give him a Nobel Prize.
And
And then it starts. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? And it goes on for a couple of minutes because some audio settings are, of course, not adjusted correctly.
Why is that just the typical Skype experience? You always like got into the call and you were robotic first for the first 5 seconds. But I will not forget that the ringer that you would get. Do 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 do.
So let's see what happens. Let's try to Theory Craft. Stormstormer
Ooh, I'm ready.
does not have Dream Coil available. Celery is there. There is no gem, but he does have Dust of Appearance. So should be enough. Celery, no TP Scroll. Glimmer is not gonna keep him alive there. So Roshan belongs to Entity. Storm Spirit might try to toy with it a little bit. No TP Scroll available. Replenishing his mana in the fountain. Beastmaster just bought back. If they want to commit to it, Magnus could potentially buy out. There's still tier 2 tower for them to TP to.
Right, and he's got RP
and also an
5.
outpost. Yeah.
Well, I think they won't buy back, and they'll just... Well, can you give it up? It's third Roche already. Sometimes this is
It's
like
the big
first
one,
or
12
second
seconds.
Roche. Yeah, this is... Interesting. This is going to be the whole kit and caboodle.
Not sure what that is.
Reconnecting.
Look at Stormstormer, the tech guy. Reconnecting helps. Sometimes you need to turn it off and turn it on again. It does actually help.
Sometimes it does, but when that's the first answer on a lot of the questions I ask tech support, it kind of starts to get frustrating.
I mean, I think a lot of people don't do it. They're like, well, it's not working. I better call somebody. And that's the
Did you
first
try
question
turning
that
it
they
on and
ask
off
you.
again? Yeah, I did that. Of course I did. Are you sure? Can you try it again for me? And then they just hang up because it worked.
Yeah, of course.
They
And
don't
then
even,
you
they don't even say thanks.
No, of course, you don't even do it. You said you already did it, even if you didn't, to see what's going to happen. Only 2
I guess I'll
buybacks
do it
available. One on Watson. And one on Magnus that you mentioned.
So here we go. Roshan 10. You said the Oracle was going to die, and, well, are you going to be right? High fives. Some saves, the false promise, buying some time here. Can he heal himself up? No. He'll die to Watson.
Yeah, he was also hit by End Venom weapons from enemies. So regional reduction reduced by 85, and you have false promise on top of you. That's big. These Vul assassins making a difference. He would die anyway, but imagine if you died because Vul assassin attacked you once.
So there's the Aegis. It's going to go over to Stormstormer. The refresher shard is sitting on the ground. You might want to pick that up. I know they left a cheese for maybe an offering last time from Gaimin Gladiators, but gotta pick everything up. So they're going to have to hold still on Gaimin Gladiators for a while with 3 heroes dead for some time, giving Entity time to get a little bit of a net worth lead and bolster up their attacking forces.
Watson, he did not die a single time this game. 14, 0, and 5 on him. One of the reasons why I also didn't give him Aegis is because Stormstormer bought back in the previous fight. Watson will farm his buyback in the meantime. So might need to be like 7 versus 5 on their side. And of course, Fishman, he showed already 2 or 3 times in this game that he's gonna buy back immediately if something happens. Holding onto Refresher Shard right now. Maybe a better one could be Toby, Double Doom.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. Double Doom, maybe double lasso. Would be nice. He'll be trying to build himself a refresher orb. Trickster cloak for Watson, so a little bit of invisibility going his way and magic resistance / evasion. And now onto a tormentor. So now Morphling has got the shard.
Every single time I see Morphling getting a tier 4 item, it always is Trickster Cloak. Feels like pretty much the best item you can get on the hero, because you already have a bunch of physical resistance coming up from that high armor, which is 75% physical right now, sitting at 50 armor, and then having some extra magic resistance, plus evasion as well, makes you almost unkillable, plus having invis on top of that. That's a lot of things that you actually get from it.
When these mines being exploded as they pick up the Invis rune and smoke up, Becky's gets himself a spell prism.
Whew, massive Pytus on Doom, not using it, does not want to reveal anything, but also Scorched Earth has been used. We'll need to use Midas and put this refresher in his inventory.
What do you do if you're Gaimin Gladiators? Because you're down 3k, it feels like the fights are starting to really favor Entity. How do you move around and try to find yourself an opportunity? Is it just waiting on the Aegis?
Right now they're splitting the map, but waiting for the next Aegis. 2.5 minutes, that seems to be what Gaimin Gladiators are aiming for. This is a big item pickup on Beastmaster, going into Heaven's Halberd, having something to proc the Lincolns with, and also disarm against Morphling, because he's been causing a lot of issues in the last couple of fights. Watson, about to crack level 25, needs to kill 1 creep.
D5 in just a second. What do you think he's choosing?
I'll wait for him cooldown. 35 strength. I don't like these talents that are just like numbers. You get 200 HP. I feel like we could adjust those to make it much more interesting.
Let's see. And yeah, so minus 40% on that waveform. Surprised Toby's only level 19. Or maybe it's just that Watson's 25 that's making Toby seem so low in level. They go and throw the lasso out.
Rest of the team, I think it was not there. I was looking at the different part of the map.
Threw the lasso, nothing doing, and now lasso's on cooldown for another 30 seconds. Not that long. Kind of regroup. They still have this Aegis sitting for another 58 seconds. So he hits that level 18, so he's got himself level 3 on the False Promise.
There's a big item coming out on Quinn. Aghanim Scepter, we've seen Aster the other day when Sumail played it. This is how you come back into the game, especially when you have Magnus on your team. So if Quinn manages to pull multiple people into RP, that could be game winning. And also defending the high ground, of course, you do have techies. I can see Tofu planting a lot of mines, but speaking of that,
So
gets lasso, immediate False Promise.
yeah, False Promise level 3 is only 60-second cooldown, so
Dire's bottom tower.
not too long before they have that back up again and can regroup, but lasso only 35 seconds. So maybe able to lasso once more and not have that False Promise there for the save. All this time they're just trying to allow Quinn to farm up that Ags, and I believe also have himself that buyback. He wants to be there with a second life.
Am I seeing this correctly, or does Batrider look like Mars with pirate hat?
Yar! I am
Yeah, we still
Mars.
didn't get those tier 5 items, but definitely I can see some similarities. The more I see this Batrider from position 4, the better it looks, I swear. Having 10 seconds cooldown on lasso on level 15 feels
quite
really
nice.
nice. At like in 7.33, it got decreased significantly. Extra on level 1, it's like 30-second cooldown less. So making the hero viable, one of the reasons why he's played from different position as well, because he's not all about that lasso. Doesn't even need Octarine Core. If you get it, lasso cooldown, it's gonna be like 37, 36 seconds or something.
The thing is, too, like, it lost 30 seconds on its cooldown for just 0.25 of the duration. They go in with the Doom. That's going to be on a Celery, and now they're going to go again. They put it on a Quinn, so Quinn's going to have this BKB,
Watson,
but he's in a little bit of
tanky.
trouble. They go and get themselves the RP to follow this up. Do they have the damage? No, not really. Watson's so tanky. They get the kill on Quinn. They'll take it a 6-time spree on his hands, and they look over at Dyrachyo, get another kill. Both these heroes don't have buyback, as they did, in fact, buy out on that Ags on Quinn, and he's 600 gold short.
Every single fight, they do proc this Lincoln Sphere on Magnus, whether with Adaptive Strike, Soul Rip, and then they get Morphling into Magnetar. Look at him, having 700 damage per hit, which is pretty ridiculous.
They have
Watson.
Glyph, but they need gold for these heroes to buy back, and otherwise they are in trouble. Their base is going to be obliterated in 60 seconds.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle
Yeah, this one looks very over. No buyback on Magnus. They have another set of barracks to take out, and we've seen them drop in a second pretty much as soon as Watson starts hitting them.
So there's the lasso on a Celery, and another kill. He's got buyback. He'll use it. But you're starting to get the sense that, yeah, they don't have buyback on these other heroes on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. They dropped on the Dream Coil. They're lacking a lot of damage that exists on both their 1 and their 2 positions. So they go for this third set of racks. They should be able to take the tier 3 at least in the top lane. Do they secure Mega Creeps in the next 5 seconds? We'll have to see. Doom used is... That's right on the Ace. So ball lightning in. They've got the Hex. They're trying to keep Ace alive. They're doing an okay job. They've got the Reigns of Destiny down and dropped on top of these heroes on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, trying to get some heal.
Tombstone.
But Celery dies, and they go to the Primal Roar. It's going to be on a Watson. Watson getting a little bit low. They've got the RP that lands on a Stormstormer. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. They take out Watson. He does have buyback. Down goes Stormstormer. These heroes both have buyback, but the Vortex onto 2 more, and Toby's in trouble. They'll get a kill there on a Toby. They look over at Fishman. 4 heroes die as Dyrachyo's got a triple kill, all at the expense of being against Mega Creeps.
Now they need to go in and try to steal Roshan, because it's going to spawn in 5 seconds. This is 4th Roshan we're talking about. Going to be on Dire's side again. And holding some big presence. Refresher Shard, Cheese, Aegis. Maybe with double RP or with double pull on Storm Spirit, they could turn it around. In terms of clearing the creep wave, like these mega creeps, it could... Sure, you have Magnus, you have like Beastmaster, Storm, these are okay heroes, but they are overextending, and now we're gonna see Doom entering Tombstone, which is really fun interaction. I think I want to see that again to see if Morphling didn't get the shift off at all, because holding on to Shard should be able to get it. Like, even after getting stunned. But yeah, nothing. He got roared there, but didn't use it. I think maybe he thought, you know, without... It gets into your head. You're like, oh, I got stunned, I can't use it. Because maybe you're not used to getting the shard.
Right. But if he shifts there, that fight could be completely different.
Could have been, yeah.
IVEX are available on everybody but Tofu and Celery. So... It's getting to a point where now Gaimin Gladiators, yes, they do have buybacks. Maybe they can defend if they do lose another fight. But with Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard
Radiant's courier has
on
been killed.
Quinn, see what they're able to accomplish coming into the next few minutes with this Aegis. If they could bring the game back against Mega Creeps, they have ways to clear it, but they have ways to force Entity in a spot where they feel uncomfortable while these creeps are pushing in.
I saw Dyrachyo trying to go for a solo kill on Tormentor. Doesn't have enough damage to take it out. Toby. Ooh, he was a little bit afraid. His courier died, so there was no cornucopia available. And he wanted to invade enemy secret shop, get the refresher for himself.
Radiant are scanning.
So, some pressure from Entity as they move forward.
Level 25 on Puck. In the previous fight as well, Dream Cold goes through debuff immunity, so he might hold him into a place. That's a big one.
Level 25 here for Ace too, so he's throwing out wild axes every 3 seconds.
And Quinn is investing all of his gold into items. He just bought Revenant's Brooch. Yeah, wants to have that magical damage against Morphling, because right now, like, they try to go on him with physical. Look at his armor. That's 80% physical damage reduction, so you deal 20% of the damage. And maybe Solar Crest on top of him, some heal. You need to go magical, so that's a really good pickup from Quinn.
Tofu, by the way, getting the shard off the Tormentor that him and Dyrachyo just took, so now he'll be able to put that reactive taser out there onto allies.
Celery is smoked from that ninja gear, providing some vision.
Ooh, Quinn. Dream Quill, Lasso, False Promise.
Shield Rune. What a rune for late game. Like we were talking about, double damage as being very good, but Shield Rune is also very important to pick up in the later stages of the game. 50 minutes in, still holding the Aegis for 2 minutes.
Can't be hanging out, though. Their creeps are pushing into the side lanes.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need to rush anything. They could try to wait it out, maybe get a pick off with this lasso. Katomi, he's searching. Double Hex.
Found Celery, and that's going to be a problem. He does not have buyback for 3 minutes.
Yeah, fuck that guy in particular. The double Hex, lasso, and Doom on top of him. He's donezo. No buyback, as you said, for full 3 minutes.
Not a lot of mana on Quinn, by the way. Silence, Vortex. All right, Puck getting away. Creeps pushing in bottom, and again, it's forcing the side of Gaimin Gladiators to have to clean up. They're pushing bottom, they're pushing mid. These Mega Creeps are going to make this defense and really this comeback, because it was about, what, 16,000 net worth lead or something like that?
Katomi, he's chasing right now. Another lasso, he gets it.
Yeah, they've got the lasso, and with no Celery, they have no False Promise. That means Dyrachyo is going to die. He's going to be forced to buy back. They're going to ball lightning the other way as Watson's going to have his Lincoln's pop, but he goes to the waveform away from the base. Behind them is Stormstormer. They've bought back on one. They've got that cheese. They've got that Aegis on Quinn.
If they manage to get another jump on Dyrachyo, this game's going to end. They don't have enough damage to take out these heroes, and also they're not going to be afraid of getting skewered back into the fountain. So, gotta split the map. Aegis will expire in 40 seconds. Entity doing a very good job choosing the fights that they need to win.
And that goes from, what, 5K to 13,000 in a heartbeat.
Refresher is on Storm Spirit. Let's see if Quinn can pull it off. Some big Vortex into another Vortex to set things up for Magnus. We seen Dyrachyo struggle to land some good RPs. I think most of the time it was on one hero, maybe 2 heroes.
How long can they do this for? Because creeps are right on your steps.
He's out of mana. 7 seconds until Aegis. Can they time it?
Yeah, he might be able to do so. They've got Stormstormer moving forward, and he needs to be very careful. Again, creeps coming in. They've got the Aegis now down with the Dream Coil used on Quinn. This is keeping them away from the base. Ace is he's forced to retreat, so now you have to fight without Ace. They've got the lasso. It's going to be out of Celery. That means he's not going to be able to get the False Promise off. They get the kill to Fishman. They've got buyback on Fishman. They go to the False Promise. The Reigns of Destiny are down. They get the kill to Dyrachyo. He's going to be dead for 2 minutes. Quinn trying to do all he can, but he's over the threshold, looking like he's going to die here. He goes into the Vortex, but pops. Everybody dead for Gaimin Gladiators that don't have buyback, and that includes Quinn, Dyrachyo, as well as Celery. And the only ones who can hold are Ace and Tofu. They'll call GG instead, and Entity will take game number 1 over Gaimin Gladiators.
That's a good way to start. We did mention that in this year, Entity did not manage.